How's it going, everyone? Liam Catterson here. We're on episode number 19 of season 3 of My Hero Academia, which is called Rescue Exercises. We're going to be doing some rescues now after the last episode completed the first test thing of the Pro Hero license exams, and all of Class A, 1A has gotten through after a tense final few moments for Class 1A, especially from Yuga, which was really great stuff to see after he took Ida's comments into heart and valued his idea of sacrifice, because Ida was putting more priorities on the other students than his well-being. Complete selflessness. Absolutely love him. And yeah, Yuga took his message on, and it boded well for Class 1A, actually, rather than I guess not so much for him. It worked out well for everyone in the end. All of Class 1A. So that's really awesome. Sucks for those eliminated, because now, I don't know, will I get to... I don't know. They could just watch it in the stands, surely, because there's a lot of seats. So, yeah. I don't know. Anyways, it was really noble, and I really enjoyed seeing that from Yuga. A lot of character development from Yuga in that one episode, because usually, like I said, usually he's just there for shits and giggles, and in this episode, well, in the last episode, should I say, we got to see a lot more of him shine, which is really great stuff to see. As well as for Kaminari as well. Like, Kaminari is another character who's there for laughs as well, but he really shone, especially when Bakugo and Kirishima were a bit compressed. See, that guy is like Mr. Compress. He literally compresses. It's deja vu all over again for Bakugo, because he had Mr. Compress, who compressed him into like a marble, and now we've got Shishikura, I think he was called. Yeah, he had a more grim way of compressing Bakugo, because that ain't pretty. I would take the marble over squishy flesh any day, so yeah. But all the same, Kaminari had a moment to shine, and Sean, he did. So I'm really loving this test, because it's not only allowing us to get a chance to see others shine, rather than just Deku, Bakugo, and Ko. Like, we've had Todoroki be Todoroki and be awesome and all of that, but we've also had the chance for others to shine, like the episode before the last episode. We got to see Sue, Shoji, Jiro, and Momo outsmart these smart students, and it was really good focusing on them. So I'm really loving how we're getting to see the heroism and the passion from other members of Class 1A than those who we already have a bit of detail on, and we already know how compassionate like this arc is really doing a solid job in having a harmless, I guess harmless, yeah. It's a harmless, like, in the sense that there's no villains around, but it's a harmless arc that opens the door for character development from characters we might not have too much to work with. So it's really great stuff that we're seeing, that characterization from Yuga, from I forgot his name for all of a sudden, Kaminari. Yeah, it's great to see those moments, because we're getting more invested with those characters and what drives them, etc. So it's really good stuff. But yeah, let's just get on with episode number 19 of season 3. The full reaction will be, of course, on Patreon. So with that said, let's go.
For the 100 of you who passed the first test, please turn your attention to the screen.
It's the 100 all over again.
It's the test arena.
What happens next?
That happens next.
The Help Us Company, also known as HUB for short.
Aw.
They're basically actors, I guess?
Yeah, I was going to say they're
Job you'd never
actors.
think about.
But a necessary one in our world since they support
but a
our hero
realistic
training.
The Hawk bystanders have dressed
way
up
to
like
test
injured
out
victims
heroes
who
and
will be located
how well
throughout
they
the disaster
do in rescue
site. We'll be
situations.
judging.
I've had my eyes on her since the moment we crossed paths.
Oh, for God's
I
sake.
saw her hiding in the rocks with Midoriya, buck naked.
Oh my God.
What's going on? Don't play stupid with us! What deviant things were you doing with that uber hottie? Well, sorta. Don't you lie to us!
Kinda, but kinda not.
Why is she still waving at you?
Give us details, Midoriya! I beg you! I told you nothing weird like that!
Rekka's like, what the fuck? Uh-oh.
Bakugo,
Oh,
What?
I
think you might need a shade.
Test. My classmate offended you. He has a tendency to try and push his own values onto others.
oh.
He probably couldn't help it in your case since
No
you're
hard
pretty famous.
feelings. I'm
I
guessing he's...
apologize for him. I'd like to build a good relationship between our schools.
I guess
This
he
guy
wants
seems
to be
decent.
friends.
So he says. Just can't help but hate both of you. You've changed a little bit since the first time our paths crossed.
Both. So
But you
Endeavor's...
definitely still have your father's eyes.
Something wrong, Yoarashi?
Not a thing, sir! My father's eyes? Totally.
Yeah, what does
See
he
you
mean by
out
that
there.
comment? Oh, God. Uraraka has him.
What is that?
I was fine when I was fighting earlier. But now...
Damn it! The bloody bell!
Villains have performed a large-scale terrorist attack spanning all of Insert
She was
City
gonna let out her
here.
feelings, wasn't
Since
she?
most buildings collapsed, there are...
You're going on your own again?
Why are you damn extras always following me?
Well, Kirishima's always going to follow Bakugo.
Rescue exercises.
Even though
Best
this is
bros.
just a test.
This looks bad. That points off your score. The first
Oh,
thing you
boy.
should do is see how bad my injuries are, and if I can walk. I'm breathing kind of weird too, aren't I? And didn't you even notice that I'm bleeding from the head? People with hero licenses should be able to judge a victim's condition in an instant. Are the members
Oh.
of Hawk the ones who are going to be scoring us? Your gross lack of training is all too apparent.
Landing spot! Watch out!
Jesus. Dude, I think you've got too much hair already, but...
His quirk, extendo hair. He can
Yeah,
pull the hair
this is
on
just
his body and
pushing
manipulate
it.
At will. The only bad thing is how easily it gets tangled. That was awesome, Mora! You're amazing! Here's the first aid station.
There's a lot of space. We can make part of this an evacuation zone. Good.
Ah,
I'll
nice.
be in...
And the first thing you said was, "This looks bad"? Seriously?
I mean, it's stating the obvious, isn't it?
Fear not, citizens! Hope has arrived!
Yeah, you have to give them that idea of hope, not just to be like, oh, well, this looks bad. It's not gonna look good, is it?
Got to get it together. I need to do my best. Passing this test and getting my license aren't just things I have to do to succeed at school. Mm-hmm. It's fine.
I am here. Say it.
Over there!
Don't you worry.
We'll definitely save him. I can carry this boy to the first aid station myself. You guys, go on without me.
This is better. This is good. At least now Deku's able to handle...
You'll be all right.
So do I. And I bet you also want to be exactly like that special person.
After the test, your first prerogative...
I'll put these feelings away. I'll focus on working just as hard as he does.
Good idea. And then let him out after
And
the
reach
test.
my dream.
Right, this is gonna just drive you insane, gal.
It's been 10 minutes.
He's moving. Huh, his subtle control is unbelievable. But it's still reckless. Minus points.
Still reckless, but he did compliment his skill.
You can make things worse.
Of course. I apologize. Hey, Kami ran off again. What's her deal lately?
Oh god, what's Kami doing now?
Reckless!
The quality of one taken Stain's words to heart.
Me? Influenced by a villain? Absurd.
No, it's not.
Nope.
Listen, what he taught wasn't necessarily all bad.
No, not
Stain's
exactly.
fundamentalist
He had a
ideas and All Might's
point.
retirement, There are many who wish to reform the role that heroes play in society. That's just fine. But if negativity and hate take over,
If you're like, go stay and kill those heroes, that's pushing the line.
Keep you from your potential.
Is balanced precariously like an intricate
She's
puzzle.
pushing into this.
Everything will topple if we're careless with our movements. We have to do this strategically.
Exactly,
see.
without
You're right.
causing
First,
more,
let's use this
without
appropriate to
insult to
prop up this
injury.
wall. It'll take some time to get everything into place, though.
Dang.
You can leave that to us.
Tape and strength, nice.
I've reinforced the wall, too.
Now then,
Just
your
duct
turn.
tape it all together. I'm kidding.
Move for the breed that doesn't affect.
Here. If they keep going like this, we won't be able to grant them licenses.
This isn't good. We're just standing around and watching.
Several people already went off on their own. Unlike
You
in
just
the
gotta
first
think
round,
what
we
they
need
need
split
to
up
be
for this one.
involved.
We could move in smaller groups.
Or they're just gonna stand there like, hi.
If I head to the river.
I'll join you.
Me too.
Guys,
This
work
is
together.
better.
Cool beans.
Sure.
You
Allow my twinkling to save the day.
Nice.
Thanks.
That's a shocker.
Awesome.
I didn't think you'd be the first to help. But then, you do love that pose.
He's learning, Yuka.
Get to work.
Roger that.
I think his right leg is broken. Zero, tape him up.
I got him.
All right, Jiro. Look for the next person.
This is
in
good.
need of
This
rescue.
teamwork,
I'm
this
on it.
aid,
Give me a
brilliant.
sec.
Victims with only minor injuries.
So you think that he figured it out? That's why he told us to go off on our own?
Yeah. Yeah.
They took it in
It's
a way
nothing
that made
about
it
his
sound
attitude
okay.
whatsoever.
We'll get you two somewhere safe. Yeah. His tone was wildly inappropriate. Minus points. What the hell did you say?
Give him the points. Just give him the points. Just give him the points.
Yeah, of course. His head got hurt somehow. He's bleeding quite a bit, but his wounds don't look very deep. He responds to questions clearly.
He should be fine. Take him to the space over there on the right.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm guessing the level of they're
In a short time until
orchestrating
emergency
different
responders
levels of
arrive,
injuries, like
heroes must
critical
act
to
alone,
minor.
helping the victims but in order to protect citizens in need, heroes must multitask.
Yeah,
they can't
that's
just
true.
rescue. They must adapt.
Because what if something hits them like this?
Against the League of Villains, Gang Orca fought alongside Endeavor and Bastinist.
Yes, he did. It's like the teachers versus students battle where he's playing the
Currently
villain.
ranked number 10. Impressive. He's also ranked 3rd in the list of heroes who look as though they should be villains.
Oh, what? You've got a judgment list for that? Holy shit!
Have appeared
Even for a pro, this would be difficult. They're going
It is,
a little
but
far, I'd say.
they're testing out all the boundaries, aren't they? They're not holding back
How
whatsoever.
will you react? Will you fight or protect? Help or run away? What would a hero
Many variables. All your options laid out on the table. I think it's an interesting strategy. I mean, Aizawa's kind of got a point. It might be going a bit far, but it's also going to keep to realism as well. Like, you have to keep remembering that they're pushing the boundaries for the pro hero licenses, so they're going to be testing every feasible opportunity, and that could include, like, oh, this villain comes in while you're doing a rescue cleanup and all of that. Like, that could happen. So, not guaranteed, but many variables to take into account. So that was a really, really, that was incredible. Like, what I really, really loved the most was the Hook members. Like, these kids are definitely not going to be professionals at how to maintain a rescue situation and how to do it effectively. So they're going to get some words of advice about how to handle the situation, and I really, really enjoyed that. Like, of course, the Hook members will grade them, deduct them points if they handled a situation wrongly, and it's because you can't really afford to handle a situation in a worse manner. But I also love the idea that the Hook members are going to give them advice as possible. Like that person who was a child who lectured Izuku for saying this is bad. I mean, to be fair, it was a really, really crappy way to, like, it's a crappy way to, like, introduce yourself to a rescue scenario. And I really, really loved the idea that Deku rethought what he should really, really say when he first encounters a civilian who's injured, and is basically inspired by how All Might eases the victims by giving them that ounce of hope. So I really, really loved that. And I just, like I said, I think the main aspect for me in terms of enjoyability was the Hook members giving that advice, because at the end of the day, even with their pro hero licenses, these students are still going to be green as hell, and they're still going to have areas to glance at in order to be better heroes. It's a journey of development, and you will always be tested to do your best. So this is their opportunity to pick up advice, pick up bits and pieces. I mean, they do mean well, and they will always like initially have this idea of, okay, well, we need to do this, but there might be ways that they are oblivious about in that they might not like. There are ways that they think is a good idea, but it's not. Deku saying this is bad, and it gives him this chance to reflect on All Might and give him that idea about, okay, well, I could reword this in a better way to make the situation a bit better. Same with that man who Uraraka and Momo tried to help. Like, he commented, well, he didn't exactly comment as in advise. He was just thinking to himself, Class 1A needs to do better. They need to divide their efforts. It creates better effectiveness when it comes to the dangers of a victim being trapped under the rubble, because time is of the essence. Like, the as long as you keep the extraction job as safe and effective as possible, you need to have a low amount of time in terms of rescuing. That's common sense in the real world as well. And I really, really love that thought about, okay, well, Class 1A needs to divide. They need to work together a bit more. They need to make sure that as like the amount of people they have with them, they need to utilize them as effectively as possible, because it creates for a better fate for those injured. So yeah, Urashi as well. He did say his name, but I think that I think I might be a bit off. But yeah, yeah. Well, first off, that was an interesting comment. What he said to Todoroki, you have Endeavor's eyes. But he also mentioned him before that as well, which does make me think there was a bit of involvement between him or his family and Endeavor. So I'm really, really excited to go in, because he didn't exactly state why Todoroki and him are like at odds and all of that, when the dude with so much hair apologized, which I'll get onto in a minute, because I thought that was funny for some certain reason. But he didn't go into the specifics, but he did give a little bit of a hint, it seems. So I'm really, really interested to know more about the beef between Urashi and Todoroki. So yeah, same with the hairy dude as well. Like, I love how he seems very, very sincere though, rather than Shindo, like where the kindness was like an act, I think it was. So yeah, but the hairy guy seems really, really sincere about Shishikura encountering Bakugo and all of that, and apologized for Shishikura's aggressive behavior. And it's funny because he's speaking to Bakugo, of all people, the most aggressive one out there. So yeah, who showed his aggression on the rescue field when he just intimidated the low priority victims, it said, because I really, really love that there's different levels as well of injuries. Like, I believe, like, I think someone had some fake blood, so yeah, there's different levels, so it could just be a scraped arm, or like, I think my arm's broken, it's not, or something like that, to my arm is legitimately broken. It's like it's like on the verge of breaking off and all of that. So yeah, there's different levels, but like I said, I love that comment from the hairy guy. Like, it's ironic, really, isn't it? So yeah. But it was a really, really great episode. Yeah, Yorashi as well. He was also given a bit of advice as well, because he went in and removed the debris without checking in on the condition of the victim, which is a bit reckless because you could make the situation a bit worse, couldn't you? Same with Uraraka when she was wanting to levitate. Yeah, they both played on similar levels, really, in terms of what they were intending to do, because Yorashi moved the obstacles, and even so, it is a bit reckless, isn't it? No, like, I'm just thinking back to Uraraka and all of that. Like, she could have made the like, if this was the real world, she could make the situation a lot worse, because like it only takes one wrong move and then it's like it goes from bad to worse. So yeah, I really, like I said, I really loved the advice the Hook members gave to the students, because like I said, it improves the way of thinking, and it gives them a more wider range in terms of, okay, well, I need to rethink how I can ease the situation, make the situation less intimidating and all of that. So yeah. Schools were also bonding as well, which was like, in terms of, okay, well, we're working with this school in order to, because at the end of the day, there's still going to be heroes, all of them. It's not like it's going to be like hero versus hero and all of that. You can't afford that in this world. So it makes sense that the last exam they were like competing over one another. They're now working together in this situation. So I really like that. There was also Uraraka as well, who was a bit flustered, it seemed. Like, more flustered than usual, it seems. And I think she's doing right in terms of, okay, well, I need to hold in this emotion that I'm feeling for Deku, because, well, your hero exams are of more priority, aren't they? But she needs to come out... Well, it's not just Uraraka that needs to come out with how she feels to Deku as soon as she can, and as appropriate as she can, because like I said, you can't do it in the middle of the hero exam. That's really inappropriate, and that will dock you a big chunk of points, actually. But the show needs to as well, because if they keep teasing, if they keep baiting, and if they keep drawing this out, then it's going to become tiresome, and it's going to force the viewer to think, just kiss already and all of that, because I know that there are shows that tease up relationships, and it's like, will they, won't they? It's like, just do it already, and it will become annoying. So the show itself, as well as Uraraka's character, needs to address the point in an appropriate manner. They can't do it in the hero exams. Like, when the next time she's at school, the next time they're resting after they get their examinations and whatnot, is the time for Uraraka, because this has been going on for quite some time, actually. And yeah, it needs to be addressed. I'm not so sure how much time passes between, like, season 2 mangas to season 3 mangas, because we saw that flashback with Yuga teasing Uradeku, which was in season 2, but there's obviously a year difference between season 2 and season 3. I'm not sure if the time works differently for you manga readers out there, so that's might be why it would seem drawn out and all of that, because they're staying faithful to the mangas, I think. But that might be why it gets drawn out, because time might be short. I don't know. You guys will fill me in anyways. But still, like, for someone who's who just solely watches the animation and not the manga, it needs to address the Uradeku ship as quickly as possible, in an appropriate stance, because otherwise it's gonna aggravate the viewer, I feel. Because like I said, I've been on the like I've been watching certain moments like that, and it's like, just get to the point and all of that. So yeah, but it was really, really great. I loved yeah, I really, really loved the rescue mission so far, and seeing how the kids are learning in terms of how to handle a disaster zone as appropriately as possible. Deku as well, like this is bad. I love that comment though. It's like, this is bad, and water is wet, the grass is green, the sun is like in the sky. So yeah, but he had that chance to reevaluate his comment, and it was I mean, he did keep saying it over and over again, but it's better than this is bad, of course. So yeah, I just really, really love Deku's quirkiness. Like, he didn't say it to be a dick about it, but it is funny how he just got lectured and all of that. But at least he's learning, and that's the thing about these tests. That's the thing about the rescue tests. You're gonna slip up, and you will have points deducted, but that's because it's a learning experience as well. Like, if you were to handle that situation in the real world, then you're going to absolutely screw everything up and cause more disasters and not handle the situation properly. That's why they're handling the that's why they're deducting points, I feel, because you try that trick in the real world, it's not going to look good, is it? So yeah, but I'm really excited to see how they handle the ante being upped by having Gang Orca involved in this. It's all reminded me of the hero versus the teachers, the pros versus the students all over again, because he's a pro as well, but he's playing the villain because he's handling that flexibility for the heroes. Because this is what I'm saying, like Aizawa was like, this is really difficult even for a pro, but I think it's realistic as well, and that's what they're gunning for. Like, the scenarios themselves are realistic, like the way they've damaged buildings and all of that. The actors are probably like, they put a lot of professionalism. Like, they're not like some half-assed actors and all of that. They have really gone to town, like Leonardo DiCaprio or whatever. No, not on that level, but they are experienced enough to be legitimately like they are injured and all of that. Same with the areas, like, they are styled as if they are legitimately broken down. Everything, because you gotta think, like, a villain could strike a rescue scenario, and then you gotta think, what do I do from here? So it's a great test on a character's reaction, I feel. So whilst it might be difficult for a pro to handle this, it's also you've also got to take in the variable of, okay, a villain's going to strike the rescue area into account, because otherwise, like, it makes you question. It makes you it sees the assessors like, it makes the assessors see what the heroes are doing, if you get what I mean. So yeah, difficult, yes, but you got to take the realism there in this training regime. So yeah, but yeah, this was pretty awesome, solid stuff, and I can't wait to see how the students goes up against Gang Orca, and it should be really fun. Third on the most intimidating. I can't believe they've got a list for that. Like, okay, so this hero looks so much like a villain, basically. I think I made a comment way back, like, when they were doing the hero versus student battle. I think I said, when All Might posed as a villain, he has that look, in a sense. So I wonder where he would fit on the list and all of it. He's probably taken off now because he's retired, but still, I wonder where he would fit. But yeah, honestly, there's some really fun stuff. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right. If you want to check out more of my content, you can also subscribe to my Meaty Beats channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!